News 46. Local coverage you can count on.
Your local dairy farmers want to wish you all a happy and safe holiday season and a very happy new year. Remember your 3 servings every day. Milk, cheese, and yogurt are key to a healthy lifestyle.
Ho, 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 ho! Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year!
I'm here at the Nye County Courthouse with Melvin Dunworth. We just had sentencing with Kelvin Owens. Tell me about how do you feel about sentencing?
Well, it's the best we could get, so it's life with probation after 10 years, and that's the next best thing to a first-degree murder conviction we could get. So I'm happy with what the judge and the district attorney did. They really worked hard on the case, and that's the best we could come out with it. So
I know that you guys kind of accepted the second-degree murder charge or plea.
Yeah, we did, because you never know what a jury's going to come out with. And even though he did plan it, and he did. This is not his first instance. It's very tough when you know somebody to get a first-degree murder conviction, and then with like the Casey Anthony thing and all that, everybody was worried about it. But he did plead guilty to second-degree murder with malice and forethought. That was stipulated. It wasn't just that they could prove the case. It was that he planned it and did it. That's what.
And you were alluding to him doing this before. You actually have a statement that is from an ex of his who said that he did very similar acts.
Yes, I do. I talked to her. My family's talked to her, and I have an email right here where he did the exact same thing, had her in an isolated location. She came home. They were getting a divorce. He was sitting on the couch. He had a gun hidden under his leg. He pulled the gun out. He threatened her. When she saw the dog, her dog was out. She ran and got help before she went in the house. She had a man there that had a shotgun. And then when he saw that, he pulled the gun out from underneath his leg. And then when the other man had a shotgun, he put the gun to his mouth. And in her words, he put it under his chin with his head tilted back, and it would have gone straight out his mouth. And that's exactly what he did here 10 years later. He put the gun to his head and shot himself so that he would not kill himself and he could blame it on. And then he accused another man. By his own statement, he said, I know the man who shot her, I recognize the man who shot her, and he described the pickup that the man was driving when he left the property.
Because he actually shot himself through the cheek, hitting a tooth, and the tooth going out his eye.
He's not a very good shot on that aspect. Yeah, that was very good. Yeah, he tried to shoot straight through his mouth, and then it hit a tooth, and he lost an eye. So that was good.
You have 2 children with Bridgett?
Yes, ma'am.
And how are they doing?
It's amazing. It was relaxing to come out here and know it was going to be over, but it's been just a nightmare. We have what you'd call night terrors, where you wake up in the middle of the night and just sweating and soaking the sheets, and my daughter's just an emotional wreck. So maybe now she'll be able to get on. She can't. She's just been a continuous state of a nervous breakdown for 3 years. My son was a man who never missed work in 7 years, never was late a day's work in 7 years, and he's been struggling just to get in because he can't sleep at night, and it's cost us, not that the money matters, but it's cost us uncounted amounts of dollars in business just trying to function these last 3 years. So.
It's an unbelievable thing to think that she was taken from you. I know that she's a mom, she's a grandmother. Talk a little bit about Bridgett.
Bridgett, she was a very nice person, actually. She was really great. She was one of these people that would always take care of, always help anybody else out, always take care of little stray dogs, always take care of her little animals. Happiness to her was just having Christmas with the family around. She went on all her little family vacations. She loved her little dog. She loved going to Laguna Beach and hanging out at the beach. And she was a very charitable person when it came to helping other people out. If you were sick at the hospital, she would go stay all night with you. If we had a family member that was sick, she would be the one that would stay all night, every night, just to sit in the hospital and make sure that they were okay. And she just loved her grandkids, and she just loved going to Disneyland and she was a very simple person. And she was looking forward to moving back to Illinois with her cousin and taking her little travel trailer. She had an insurance settlement coming from an automobile accident, and she was going to take that money and go back and just relax and live in Illinois for a little while with her cousin. And and then this happened. So
3 days before her 50th birthday.
3 days before her birthday. We're planning on we had a big birthday celebration because we actually had a really loving family, and we do. It's torn the family apart. It's incredible how much the bickering and how to handle this and who to talk to the judge or the DA and all these things, and when do you get upset and when do you not get upset. And I forgot your question.
Just right before her birthday, this all happened.
Yeah, the birthday.
So Judge Lane, the victim statements, you guys went up and gave how you guys have been impacted by this horrible tragedy. And Judge Lane also spoke and explained what was going on. How did that go?
It made me feel really good because he did know, and for 3.5 years we did think he was fooling the system because he wouldn't comb his hair, he wouldn't beard, he shuffled into court like he was mentally ill, and he didn't comb his hair for 3 years. He didn't brush his beard for 3 years. He looked like the Unabomber. And then
He had a point where he was saying that he was seeing purple elephants.
He actually said that in court, that he was hallucinating. And then once that happened right after he described the man who after he'd already done that once, described who did it, and then the police, that's how they knew the videotape, and they had the guy on the videotape. And once he stood up in court and accused the other man by his own eyewitness account, and the policeman said, oh no, we have 4 hours of videotape of this man in North Las Vegas, Nevada.
He wasn't here and he did not commit the crime because the police actually have video that he was at a different location at that time.
How convenient for 4 hours, yeah, so what bad luck for Kelvin Owens. Yes, it was bad luck. But yeah, we had a big birthday celebration planned, and for 3 days she was staying at the Hampton Inn, which is by the Sunset Station Casino, and we're going to have 3 days of birthday celebration for her. And then I was picking her up the next morning because the car wasn't running. So had he shot himself the same way he shot her, I would have found them both laying out there. But instead, just like Carol Henning, he never intended to kill himself.
And exactly what did he do to Bridgett? How did this happen?
How did he kill her? As I said in the victim statement, we know that I was on the phone with her 45 minutes before he called for an ambulance. So in between that time, as the judge and nobody argued, it basically she said, what are you doing? What the hell? And she said, I got to go, and got up and walked inside the trailer. At that time, she only had bruises on the back of her skull. She was only 105 pounds, so there was no beating like it said in the paper. She wasn't beaten severely. I think the way the evidence is he just held her little head down and put the gun to the back of her, right below her ear, and shot, and it went through this side of her head and came directly out her ear. So he shot her right between the ears.
There was some dragging that he did after that. There was some evidence that he actually moved the body or moved things around.
All that, and that's exactly what I'm saying. That all happened. I think he actually shot her, then staged, moved the body. He opened the gate, unlocked the gate. That's 100 yards from the travel trailer. The gate is 100 yards. So he had to go 100 yards, open the travel trailer, drag the body around. The house was immaculately clean when I was out there 3 days before, and as in court testimony, it was a disheveled mess when I got back out there. So yeah, he put food on the barbecue to make it look like more than one person was there. He opened the gate so that it looked like this man was driving away, and he basically shot the car up. It looked like a shootout from the OK Corral. You couldn't find how many shots were fired.
They found evidence of drugs, and he was using heroin, wasn't he?
I don't know what he was doing because I'm not a drug person, but anything that had any of the drug stuff, whether it was what he kept the drugs in to what he used his drugs with, only had his DNA on it, did not have any of hers. She was clean. Her autopsy report only had less than her prescribed amount of Lortabs or hydrocodone in her system that she had a prescription for. So that was it. Any of the drug stuff and the gun only had his DNA on it. She never touched the gun, and anything to do with the drugs, including whatever they were in, she never touched. So she had nothing to do. That was just smear campaign by his defense attorney.
Exactly. I'm so sorry for what you've gone through, but at least we found some justice today.
I feel a lot better with Bridgett, and I really feel good. Wesley White did really good. Kurt Villo is a great man, and I was really glad that because after 3.5 years, you almost feel like he is fooling the court system. So, and I'm glad he got a great defense attorney, because they did do a great job. You know, they argued to the point that the bullet didn't even kill her. I mean, but they did argue, stood in court and argued that. But that way, everything worked out. He got to go to Lakes Crossing. He knows he's mentally competent, and this should be a good sentence that we don't have to worry about. So that's good.
Thank you so much, Mom.
Thank you. Thank you for helping us.
You're here at the sentencing of Kelvin Owens, who tragically killed your mother. Tell me how you feel about it.
I feel great. I feel like the last day of high school. It is awesome. We got life in prison, possibility of parole after 10 years with credit for time served. In all honesty, yeah, I might have to go back up and fight the parole board in 6.5 years. But this man, no parole board will put him on the street. This man's done. He'll never ride in a taxi again. He'll never go drink at a bar with his buddies. He'll never go home for a family reunion. Not that he even would, but, you know, now he can't. And I just love that. And I never have to worry about, there's no date. That's what's beautiful. There's no date, August 12th, 2025 or nothing like that he's going to get out. And I love that. And it's all, and Judge Lane, he explained in there at one point, because, we said that he was like deceiving the court and stuff, and Judge Lane, he said something which was really awesome that he said, is he goes he wasn't deceiving us. He goes, we were doing our part. He goes, and if the first time he would have came around and they would have called hogwash on it and stuff, and he would have said, no, you don't have mental problems, and you are capable and stuff, then you know what, now he would be able to go back and refute the sentencing from 3 years ago. You know what I mean? He would be able to take it to a Supreme Court and refute it, or even come up with a different story and come up with a different allegation and stuff. So, it took a while, but everybody, the DA, Deputy White, or District Attorney White, the Detective Close, Berkowitz, everybody, they did an awesome job. They really did. And 3 years in the 3 years down the line, it was all worth it. It was 100% worth it. It was great. Everybody here did an awesome job. I'm so happy. He as Judge Lane called him, a psychopath on the street, or he took him off the street, and he'll never walk amongst us again. I'm just so happy.
This guy has a history of domestic violence, especially when the women are about to leave him, that he gets really violent. So it's bound that this was going to happen again with him. So hopefully we won't have to go through this. But you will be at those parole hearings every single time. Are you feeling your mom today?
Oh, absolutely. Oh yeah, today is a very righteous day. Oh yeah, today was awesome. She was in the courtroom with us. She was very much she was a justified person. She wanted justice when justice was due, and justice was due here, and she got it. She got it. Today was all for her, and now we can move on. That's the best part about it. Now I never have to worry about this again. Well, other than the parole stuff, I don't have to worry about if he's going to get out, or I don't have to worry about what the judge is going to say, or what some defense attorney is going to, slander my mom's name about. Like, I don't have to worry about it. I can go home and sleep and move on with my life, and that's really what it's about. It's done now. That's the best part. It's done.
You feel that the judge explained things to you and let you know all the way around that justice was coming around, that it was being served, and you feel good when you left that courtroom that he understood too.
Oh yeah, I feel that the judge understood. Like I said, at certain points, maybe I didn't know if the judge understood, but you know what? At the end of the day, I do, and that's all that really matters. Like he said something that was very key in there. Is he said, they have to take all their emotions and put it in a box, because they deal with the child molesters and the killers and all that kind of bad stuff. And if they didn't, they'd be emotional wrecks like everybody else. So they have to put that in a box and keep things professional and keep a clear head in mind this way. And like he said at the end of that, it's to protect us, because then this way, like I said, if he would have got in an emotional, oh, you did kill her, and sentenced him to life, then no parole, whatever, then now he'd be able to refute it. He'd be able to take it to the Supreme Court. And if you watch the Supreme Court cases, most of those get turned around. And so now it's really good that it's just done. He covered his bases. He covered all the mental aspects of it. He got the man to say he did it. He pulled the trigger. He said yes, sir, and he got sentenced to a life sentence. You didn't see any of that man's family stand up in there. You didn't see any of that man's people say, no, we're there to protect him. If he gets out, we'll be there for him, because he has none. He's a scumbag. Judge Lane knew it, and today was a righteous day. Everybody, even his defense attorney, I shook his defense attorney's hand at the end of the day, because you know what, I'm ultimately, no matter what, I'm not mad at him. I'm mad at Kelvin, and everybody has a job to do, and he did his job. He had to fight. He had to bring up the best fight possible to prove his client was righteous, and he wasn't. He lost, and now we get to move on.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yeah, beautiful. Thank you.
Bridgett Dunworth-Smirk. Bridgett Va-va-Knees was your mom.
That's correct.
Tell me a little bit about Mom.
She was awesome. She was always there for us, you know. Doesn't matter through thick and thin. She was just there. She was an amazing person. She always gave to everybody, took care of animals. I mean, like, she'd give you the shirt off her back. It doesn't matter who you were.
And I know that you've had a tragic 3.5 years, all from April of, I believe it was 2009? 2008.
Correct. We've just had family members that were lost to cancer, and I mean, just everything that you can think of has happened to us. But her murder was stolen. I mean, her life was stolen. Everything was stolen from us. It wasn't a tragedy that happened. It was a choice that was made that happened. And that's exactly what it is that this man has made repeated choices that cost people everything, and he just doesn't care.
You have a poem that you wanted to read today, but you didn't have a chance to read in the courtroom, so we're going to let you read that right now.
Okay, it's The Undefended Victim. For me there is no gavel, the scales were never weighed. My crime was that of a victim, my life was the price I paid. And when my life was taken, why weren't my rights read and the sentence overruled when they pronounced me dead? I'll never hear my rights nor take the witness stand, no attorney to defend me. My fate was in the killer's hand. Now the courtroom is crowded. The defendant pleads the case with just a glimmer of a tear, cold eyes on a straight face. But oh no, if I could take the stand, if you could witness my last breath, could you live with the tear that I went through death? You could hear my pleading cries and feel my excruciating pain. At least we would know that the scales had been balanced in this case. If I could tell the court exactly how it was, the fear and pain that I went through, struck down without a cause, has the court carefully weighed it all as it listens to the plea? There are no emotions showing now, just the hope of going free.
So this is now going to be behind you on this, and I know you have a child, so your mom was a grandma. How are you guys doing?
We're doing well. My father has stepped in, and my father and my brother have been amazing to me. I've been lucky enough that I'm able to go to school. I was a stay-at-home mother. I'm no longer with my husband, so they just allowed me to do whatever. I'm allowed to go to school, do whatever I want. They've done everything that they could to make sure that I was protected. My family is amazing. I just worry about them. I mean, it's like she's missing. There's nothing we can do. There's nothing you can do, and you just don't know how hopeless that is, how empty that is. But I mean, like, we have to move on. We're going to move on. We're going to do this. Now that we don't have to deal with him every day and worrying about what he's going to pull next, we'll deal with this in 6 years, and hopefully no other family will have to deal with it. My mother's life was he's attempted to murder. He has molested. I mean, child molestation alone should be that he shouldn't even be out of jail. So that just makes me mad. But he's done everything. So our family just wants to make sure that he's, that he doesn't hurt anybody again. I mean, he's not a productive citizen at all. Ever has been, never will be. Doesn't care. Just leaves.
It's true that he won't be out there to hurt anybody else now, and your mother's life did cost that. But in her name, you guys have got justice. Oh, you know what? As long as he doesn't hurt anybody else again, she has her justice. I mean, you can't ever replace that, and I just thank God that we're Americans. Thank you so much, Bridgett. You're welcome. Thank you very much for taking the time. Here with Janine Little. Bridgett Va-va-Knees was your sister. Tell me about Bridgett.
She was happy. She loved life. She played the harmonica. She wrote songs. She is actually a published songwriter on an album. One of her best friends was pregnant and lost her baby, and she wrote a poem which turned into a song, which ended up on an record album. I can't remember the band or the name. It was Sitting on Heaven's Wall was the name of the song. And I'm serious about she knew everybody in a 2-block radius within a day, and they all knew her. Her passion was rocks. She climbed mountains. She actually found some prehistoric stone. Looked like a starfish. It wasn't, but it was actually prehistoric. She loved her family. She used to take my children, her nieces, out of school, go see movies. It was just she and I, She was awesome. And
you are her only sibling?
Yes, I am. I'm her older sister. So it's really crummy when my mom just passed away in February. You know, she's supposed to be here with me. I'm not supposed to do it alone.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and like I said in there, instead of planning her birthday, her son and daughter, they were planning her funeral. You know, but he got what he deserved, absolutely.
How has it been on you this whole last 3.5 years?
It's been horrible. I have a lot of panic attack. I have some disorders and some I have PTSD, and I go to mental health. And my counselor was willing to come here with me, but I didn't think I needed her. But
people know sisters' relationships and how close sisters are. To lose your sister must be devastating.
Yeah, I'm an orphan. My mom's dead, my dad's dead, my sister. Well, I never, in a million years, you don't think that's going to happen to you. And we all sent letters to the judge, and I expressed that in the letter to the judge, you know. I'm sure he's read thousands of those letters, but I never thought I was going to write a letter like that, you know.
When you look at Bridget's children and grandchildren, do you see her?
Oh, absolutely. And my youngest daughter looks just like her, and my youngest daughter's daughter looks just like her, so we can't escape her, and that's wonderful to me, you know, but it's painful. I write to her every day. There's not one day, literally, that goes by that I don't sob at some point. Either have to pull the car over or just can't leave the room.
You speak to her, you talk to her, do you feel her?
Yeah, I do. A lot.
Do you feel that she was given justice today?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We waited a long time, but it was worth the wait.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.